Let me tell you something I've noticed after years of watching deadlines come and go. The people who always push things to the last minute aren't lazy. They're not broken. They're not even disorganized. They're running on a different operating system, one that looks like chaos from the outside but feels like survival on the inside. They sit there, staring at the task while the clock ticks louder and louder. They're not absent. They're calculating, not careless. They're protecting something, their energy, their self-worth, their fragile illusion of control. You see, procrastination isn't empty. It's full of everything they're afraid to face, every doubt, every fear of failure, every flicker of, what if I'm not enough? If you've ever been called a procrastinator, I want you to hear this. That delay isn't a flaw, it's a signal, a form of intelligence the world rarely understands. The psychology behind chronic procrastination is layered, deep, and often misdiagnosed. Because putting things off isn't a lack of discipline. It's the weight of too many emotions all at once. Most procrastinators don't delay because they don't care. They delay because they care too much. Their brain isn't just processing the task, it's running a full risk assessment. What if I fail? What if it's not perfect? What if this proves I'm a fraud? Who's watching? How will this land? What's the real cost of starting? It's not laziness, it's emotional overload in motion. Psychologists have studied this. Chronic procrastinators often score higher on measures of perfectionism and sensitivity to criticism. They spend more time imagining outcomes than executing them. It's not that they don't feel urgency, it's that they feel it so deeply that action becomes paralyzing. And that's where the misunderstanding begins. Because the world we live in rewards speed. It praises the early bird, the hustler, the one who just gets it done. But the procrastinator knows something most don't, that rushing doesn't equal quality. That starting too soon can mean starting wrong. And that the most powerful work often emerges from pressure, not planning. Think about it. Every deadline has that one person who submits at 11:59 p.m. And somehow, it's brilliant. Not because they're reckless, because they thrive in the fire. That's not coincidence, that's adaptation. Because procrastination builds tension, and tension builds clarity. Procrastinators operate differently. They notice details others ignore. The tiny flaw in the plan, the emotional undercurrent of the task, the way a project connects to their identity. It's as if they can read between the lines of their own resistance. That's not avoidance, it's pattern recognition, and it comes from incubation, not interruption. When you delay, your mind doesn't stop working. It works in the background, connecting dots, testing ideas, waiting for the moment when resistance finally breaks. You begin to hear what isn't urgent. You start to feel what really matters. And that gives you a kind of power, the power to create without force, to innovate without structure, to see through the noise of should and find the signal of must. But here's the thing, procrastination doesn't mean peace inside. For many, delay is a shield, a way of containing chaos. A procrastinator might seem calm on the outside, scrolling, distracting, chill, but inside, their mind is a storm of scenarios, regrets, and what-ifs, all spinning at once. That's why they wait. They're trying to find clarity before motion. Some psychologists believe chronic procrastinators often have higher levels of creative divergence, not ADHD, not laziness, but a brain wired for possibility. They don't just see one path, they see 10. And choosing one feels like killing the others. They find flow in constraint. They recharge in limbo. And too much structure, calendars, timers, accountability, drains them. So they choose their starting point the way a sniper chooses a shot carefully, purposefully, not at the edge of collapse. It's not about being dramatic, it's about being precise. Because to a procrastinator, action carries weight, and once started, it can't be undone. But delay can also come from something deeper, a childhood spent being rushed, a life full of moments where starting led to criticism. Why didn't you begin earlier? So instead of jumping in, they learn to wait, to observe first, to act only when the cost of inaction finally outweighs the cost of imperfection. Over time, this becomes not just a habit, but a survival mechanism. When you've learned that early effort often leads to early judgment, delay feels safer, and that safety becomes home. But don't mistake this safety for weakness, because within that procrastination lives one of the rarest abilities in the world, the ability to create under pressure. In a society driven by routines and early wins, that's a superpower. Procrastinators tend to score higher on measures of divergent thinking, the psychological ability to generate novel solutions in chaos. They can feel panic, dread, or excitement without letting it stop them forever. They pause, incubate, and choose their moment with surgical precision. That's not avoidance, it's mastery. And that's why so many great artists, writers, and innovators in history were deadline darers. They lived in the tension between not yet and now or never, connecting ideas no one else could see until the final hour. They didn't lack discipline, they had a different kind of discipline, the discipline to wait until the work was ready to be born. But here's the shadow side. Procrastination can become a cage. The same mechanism that fuels brilliance can trap you in cycles of guilt, missed opportunities, and self-loathing. The key isn't to fix procrastination, it's to understand it, to harness the tension without letting it harness you. Start small, not with the big task, but with the feeling. Name the fear. Write the first ugly sentence, send the messy email, let momentum do the rest. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Procrastination isn't the enemy of productivity. Perfectionism is. And the cure isn't starting earlier, it's starting imperfectly. If you're a procrastinator, you don't need another planner. You need permission to begin before you're ready, permission to fail forward, permission to trust that your best work doesn't come from discipline alone, but from the beautiful, messy collision of fear and deadline. You're not broken, you're brewing. And when you finally move, the world stops and listens, because that's the magic of the procrastinator. They don't just finish, they transform. So the next time you're staring at a blank page, a looming deadline, or a task that feels too big, don't fight the delay, listen to it. It's not holding you back, it's holding space for the version of you that only shows up when there's no other choice. And that version, that's the one the world's been waiting for.